Yo, what's up, guys? All right, guys, day 19, Proverbs 19. We're reading one chapter a day of Proverbs throughout the month of February. So at the end of the month, you can say that you finished it with us. Let's go. All right, so again, more nuggets of wisdom sprinkled by Solomon throughout the whole chapter. A couple verses that I want to highlight with is going to be toward more the 20. So I'm going to read a little bit and then get into it later on. Let's get straight into it. Verse 1. It's going to be titled Walk in Integrity. Better is the poor that walketh in his integrity than he that perverts his lips and is a fool. Also that the soul be without knowledge, it is not good, but he that hasteth with his feet sinneth. The foolishness of a man perverteth his ways, and his heart fretteth against the Lord. Wealth make many friends, but the poor is separated from his neighbor. A false witness shall not be unpunished, and he that speaketh lies shall not escape. Many will entreat the favor of the prince, and every man is a friend to him that giveth gifts. All of the brethren of the poor do hate him. How much more do his friends go far for him? He pursueth them with words, yet they are wanting to him. He that getteth wisdom loveth his own soul. He that keepeth understanding shall find good. A false witness shall not be unpunished. He that speaketh lies shall perish. The light is not seemly for a fool, much less for a servant to have rule over princes. The discretion of a man deferreth his anger, and it is his glory to pass over a transgression. The king's wrath is as a roaring lion, but his favor is as dew upon the grass. Foolish son is the calamity of his father, and the contentions of a wife are a continual dropping. House and riches are the inheritance of fathers, and a prudent wife is from the Lord. Slothfulness casteth into deep sleep, and an idle soul shall suffer hunger. He that keepeth the commandments keepeth his own soul, but he that despiseth his ways shall die. Verse 17. He that hath pity upon the poor lendeth unto the Lord, and that which he hath given will he pay him again. Chasten thy son while there is hope, and let not thy soul spare for his crying. A man of great wrath shall suffer punishment, for it thou deliver him, yet thou must do it again. All right, from verses 20 to 29, the rest of the chapter is going to be titled The Counsel of the Lord. A lot of the verses I want to highlight are going to be within this as well. All right, so the counsel of the Lord, verse 20. Hear counsel and receive instruction, that thou mayest be wise in thy letter end. There are many devices in a man's heart, nevertheless the counsel of the Lord shall stand. The desire of a man is his kindness, and a poor man is better than a liar. The fear of the Lord tendeth to life, and he that hath it shall abide satisfied. He shall not be visited with evil. A slothful man hideth his head in his bosom, and will not so much as bring it to his mouth again. Smite a sinner, and the simple will beware, and reprove one that hath understanding, and he will understand knowledge. He that wasteth his father and chasteth away his mother is a son that causeth shame and bringeth reproach. Cease, my son, to hear their instruction that causeth to err from the words of knowledge. An ungodly witness scorneth judgment, and the mouth of the wicked devoureth iniquity. Judgments are prepared for scorners, and stripes for the back of fools. Alright, so I want to start off by highlighting verse 8. So verse 8, he that getteth wisdom loveth his own soul. He that keepeth understanding shall find good. I feel like that kind of speaks for itself. It's just having community, having counsel around you, seeking knowledge and seeking wisdom, seeking the word, seeking Jesus. He that getteth wisdom loveth his own soul. He that keepeth understanding shall find good. I want to highlight with verse 15. Slothfulness casteth into a deep sleep, and an idle soul shall suffer hunger. Um, Slothfulness, so moving slow, kind of maybe being lazy, being really, really slow, casteth into a deep sleep. So a deep sleep, almost death, or just completely out of it. Just it's basically telling you just to wake up. And an idle soul shall suffer hunger. So that you will, just how it says on some of the other verses in Proverbs, that a man that's not full with wisdom or knowledge, in other words, a man that's not full of Jesus or seeking Jesus, is somebody that's going to be hungry. So their soul will be hungry for that heart that we ultimately feel temporarily, dopamine hits or sins or whatever you want to call it, in the meantime. But in reality, only Jesus, only God can fill that hole. All right, verse 20. Hear counsel and receive instruction. So it's literally telling you to hear instruction from community, or hear instruction from the council, receive the instruction. So not only do you listen to it, but you apply it to your life. So hear counsel and receive instruction, and thou mayest be wise in thy latter end. So in the future, that from that point, that you will be wise, knowledgeable, blessed, all that. Verse 21, there are many devices in a man's heart, nevertheless the counsel of the Lord shall stand. There are many devices in the man's heart. So again, we've used this verse many times. Jeremiah 17:9, about the heart being deceitful above all things, desperately wicked, who can know it? So that means that we don't know it. Only God knows that. And he's saying, even here, even though that we have many devices, many things that we feel like pull us left and right or pull us away from God, there's many things that are in our heart that we desire, that we want. Then it says, there are many devices in a man's heart, nevertheless the counsel of the Lord shall stand. So necessarily from what you learn from the counsel, what you learn from the word, shall stand. Verse 22, the desire of man is his kindness, and a poor man is better than a liar. I feel like that's straightforward. Verse 23, the fear of the Lord tendeth to life, and he that hath it shall abide satisfied. He shall not be visited with evil. So once you're saved, once you have the Lord in your life, it says that we cannot be possessed. We cannot have evil around us. Of course, there's going to be stuff that happens around us, unfortunately. But we just have to have faith that it's for the greater good. And I know that that's not always the case, and that's not always the easiest thought. Usually those bad thoughts come in first. But we just got to have faith, man. We have to pray for alignment with God's will. And when something goes south, that we have to understand, even though I don't like this and I have some certain feelings about this, the word says not to trust your thoughts and your feelings, and bring it to God. So then you bring it to God and say, hey, Lord, this is how I feel. I don't know if I should be feeling this way. I don't know if it's okay to be feeling this way. What do you think about it? Bring it to the Lord and ask him. And easier said than done, because there's sometimes that you sit there, you're in prayer, and you're quiet, or you feel like that you're very still over some time, and you're waiting and you're waiting. And sometimes he may not answer, and that doesn't mean that he's not working. And then at that point, ask him, hey, Lord, please give me the heart to understand, that you don't want me to know this, or give me the heart to understand that you're working behind the scenes, and that you don't want me to know about it. Just give me the heart to understand, and give me the heart to put my full faith in you and belief in you, and knowing that you can't do anything and that he must do everything. All right, guys, what you stayed this far, thank you for listening. Hopefully this is, this whole series, this makes you think and makes you realize how deep the word is and how much it can be broken down, way more than what I'm doing. You're supposed to break it down verse by verse and see Jesus in every verse, and I know that's something that I'm learning. All right, guys, well, thank you for watching. I appreciate y'all. If y'all stayed this long, I hope that y'all have the blessed rest of your day and a blessed rest of your week. Stay tuned tomorrow for day 20. Peace.